It's like chat with no reason. So a year goes by, and I speak at Gnome Decks for Chris Perillo, and Dave Weiner and Laura Fitton from at Pistachio, they both sort of corner me and they say, "Guy, you ought to get on Twitter." And I said, "I looked at Twitter. I don't have a cat. It doesn't roll over that often." But Laura and Dave just kept hammering on me, so I go on Twitter, and just because of relatively known to some, the 1 million people who live at home with their moms, so lots of people started following me on Twitter, and so the first thing I did is I started Twitter feeding Troomers, which was a previous company of mine, Troomers into Twitter, and that was very useful. And then when we started Alltop, not to bring this back to Alltop, but when we started Alltop, I started saying, well, we're creating this adoption.alltop, and I don't know that much about adoptions, so does anybody have suggestions for the feeds that we should put in? So we'd get a bunch of feeds like that, very, very useful. Then people would suggest, well, if you're doing adoption, why don't you do homeschooling.alltop? And we'd say, well, I don't know anything about homeschooling, send us the feeds. So at the end of the day, I will tell you that Alltop would not be anything near what it is without Twitter. And I would make the argument all day long that of all the people in the world, I probably get the most utility out of Twitter. Twitter has changed